with breaking news.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Zimmerman. We start off tonight with breaking news out of Fond du Lac, where 3 people have been shot at an apartment complex, and the shooter, police say, is now on the run. It happened just before 7 tonight at the Maplewood Commons. That's near Martin Avenue and East Pioneer Road. Emily Roberts just spoke with police at the scene. She's live in Fond du Lac. Emily.
Jason, you can see the lights of fire trucks, police cars, and squad vehicles behind me here. Now, I've seen armed law enforcement officials walk by multiple times within the past hour. The assistant chief of police for the Fond du Lac department tells me they're using drones and searching the area on foot. Police don't have a description of the suspects right now. The assistant chief describing what officers saw when they entered the Maplewood Commons.
Responding officers arrived within minutes and located 3 shooting victims. The victims were all transported to the hospital by Fond du Lac Fire Rescue. The status of those victims are unknown at this time. However, the ages of the victims is a 20-year-old female, an 18-year-old female, and a 48-year-old male.
Police haven't said how the people shot are doing right now, but the assistant chief of police tells me he'll come back to talk with us as soon as there's an update. He asks anyone with information or security footage to reach out to their department. Live in Fond du Lac, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Emily. Over